My name is Laura Johns. I live here in Flowood, Mississippi, and have every reason in the world to put my health last. I'm a busy mom of two. I run a business. I have a husband who's a worship pastor at a local church, and for the last several years, I've been a patient at the Women's Clinic. So having a lot of things on the to-do list, I typically put myself last, as we do as moms. Usually, whether it's my health, my fitness, my nutrition, all of those things a lot of times can get put on the back burner. One of the things that has never actually been on the back burner for me personally was making sure that I got my mammogram every year, because both my mother and my grandmother on my mom's side have had breast cancer. So it was always very important to me, although I have lots of friends and know lots of people who don't necessarily take the time to get their mammogram. I knew firsthand and have experienced firsthand how important it is to get a mammogram every year. After my longtime physician moved away, I got to know Dr. Ori at the Women's Clinic. She became my new physician, and we just had a sit down the very first visit. It was my annual visit. I was having my first mammogram with her, but my second mammogram that I've ever had at 41. And she took the time to really talk to me about my family history. I'd had the BRCA test, genetic testing, done several years ago because of my family history, my mom and my grandmother both having had breast cancer, and I was negative. So I really had eliminated concerns, but still made the mammogram every year a priority. When I first sat down with Dr. Ori in her office, she looked at me and said, "You know, I don't like just the BRCA for you. I think we need to look into something else." So she was able to do another evaluation to determine my risk and the possibility of me getting breast cancer in the future.
So Laura's lifetime risk was a little over 30%, which at 20%, that qualifies you for high-risk screening. That means that the patient is qualifying for additional screening with tests such as a breast MRI. Those tests can look for other things that mammography can't. I remember coming in one morning when Laura came in for her additional screening, and I was like, wait a minute, why are you back? Knowing that she was here for some additional screening. And so I perked up, knowing that we were about to take the next steps earlier than we had expected at her 6-month time for what we were talking about, which would be an MRI. So, of course, we got her diagnostic imaging back, showed that she had some areas of concern, some calcifications, and it was time for biopsy. We immediately got her in front of Dr. Schamberger, and the rest is history.
Dr. Schamberger, she pretty much immediately was able to detect there was something irregular, and then what she saw, she said, to the eye, it looked as if it was ductal carcinoma in situ, DCIS, which is a very common type of breast cancer. She sent it off to labs, and after she sent it off to labs, she actually was able to see that it was pleomorphic LCIS, stage 0, caught very early, but she phrased it, I believe, it's LCIS that acts like DCIS. Well, all of this in my mind is like they're speaking another language. I don't really understand it. But the good thing was Teresa and the team at the Women's Clinic really came around me from that moment, the minute that I realized that this was something we were going to have to deal with. We got a plan, and they pretty much guided me, not necessarily at all telling me exactly what to do, but more just being there as support, making sure that I had all the contacts I needed, because this is something obviously that one I never expected and two, never have had to navigate before. But the good thing is at the Women's Clinic, they navigate patients with breast cancer every day. And from my original mammogram straight to Dr. Schamberger and then into the hands of the care team and Teresa at the Women's Clinic, I was taken care of throughout the whole process. I'm very proud now to say I'm still a busy mom. I've still got a lot going on, but I will always prioritize my health, because I know how important it is to make sure that I'm healthy so that I can be here for my family. And so I'm cancer-free now after about an 8-month process. I was able to come back to the Women's Clinic and share with the team here that I'm cancer-free and healthy, and it's all thanks to them.